Hello, all my froggy friends. How's everyone doing on this Friday? This is February 20th. I'm sorry if my microphone is making noises. I kind of was caught off guard when I hit the record button. Anyway, um, I've recorded this one 3 times. I recorded one yesterday 5 times. My computer just does not want to save. It's like one of those new Macs and it has like low memory. And they want you to buy this other thing called the Little Mac or the Mini Mac or something. And it's worth $600. So I'm like, I have a computer. I'm grateful for my computer. I love my computer. But it's not like the other one that had like 624 gigabytes or whatever. But the memory, the little mini memory, the mini Mac, is going to be the memory of it. But I can't, $500 for a computer piece when I've already spent over $1,000 on a computer. I mean, come on, get real. Anyway, there's my complaint, my rant box. I'm Cassie. Welcome back to Cassie's Corner. Happy Friday to you. This is the 51st day of the year. I'm going back on my book, The Daily Stoic, from February the 14th. This is when I visited Freckles at his home, and its title is Think Before You Act. A very important message for those of you trying to get over depression, trying to learn what you can control, trying to release control of things that you can't control. That is a big problem for some of us. We don't want to lose that control over, or what we think is control over certain city. If I put my 2 cents in, if I do this and if I do this, I can control the entire outcome, and that's not really how it works. We just are spinning our wheels like a rat in a cage, kind of on his. We're just spinning wheels. We're not really doing anything. We're not controlling anything. Just because things go your way doesn't mean you controlled it. And people are just so used to doing that. It's baffling. It is really baffling. Now that I'm out of the depression, which I will never totally not be a depressed person, a depressed mind. It's kind of like alcoholism. I feel like that there's always a way, maybe a PTSD kind of thing that will snap me back into a part of me which was comfortable and being sad all the time. But for now, I'm functioning, and I'm very grateful for that. So I don't ever want to wish to be in that situation. It's kind of like smoking. Once you stop smoking, you're kind of glad and you can't see yourself ever being there again. That's kind of how I am right now. I just don't see myself ever being that sad again, that attached to the negative thoughts that comes with being sad. It was so horrendous, and it was so embarrassing to think of my attitude back then. Anyway, please like and subscribe. Leave me a comment. Let me know where you're from. Let me know if you are depressed. Let me know if these videos are helping you in the least. Let me know if there's if there's something that I've said that has affected you in a way. I really would appreciate comments. But they are the type of thing, YouTube has its rules, and it's the type of thing that can help YouTube to recommend my videos more, and I can reach a whole lot more people if I have that. I'm not really into the monetization of it all. I monetize. What did I do? I'm not monetized. So I mean, it would be nice if I was to be monetized. It's not what I started it from. I started it because I feel like I was sad. I was detrimentally sad. I was desperately sad. And I learned from it. I learned a lot from it. And I learned how to overcome it. And I learned how to be my normal, weird, crazy self again. And I'm very grateful that I was able to do that. But I'm just sharing my experience so that I can help somebody else, that they are not in a depressed mood, or they're not the S word at all, because I just don't like seeing anybody else sad. I don't like knowing that somebody else has to live or feels like they have to live the way that I lived. You don't have to be sad. You don't, sadness is not forever. Sadness is a feeling. It's an emotional state, but it is a feeling. It doesn't last forever. It doesn't have to. If you just train your brain to control what you can't control. And I tell people to do this, to take a list and make a list of the things you can control and the things you cannot control. The things you cannot control are like other people, what they say, what they think, what they believe, their opinions. You can't control traffic. You can't control the weather. You can't control, the only thing you could do is prepare yourself to be in those certain situations. Like if it's raining, leave 15 to 20 minutes early. If you think there's going to be a bad traffic jam, leave early. And I know there's certain situations where you're just like, you cannot get out any earlier. And I got that. I got that. But really, you need to prepare yourself for certain situations so that way you can overcome the anger or the resentment of the situation. So you don't have to live like that. You don't always have to. Everything's not a battle. Everything is not a battle. There are good times in life. There are happy times, and everybody laughs and everybody gets depressed and everybody. I understand this. Now, but I'm talking about these people that live with a deep, dark depression where they're hiding their faces and they're staying in bed and they're not wanting to get up and talk to people, even anxious people. When you're anxious, because I do suffer anxiety too. I suffer a great deal of anxiety. I also have to control what I think or what I feel in the ways of anxiousness, because certain situations are going to come up that I'm not comfortable. I'm either going to be in a crowded room, I'm going to be in front of strangers, I'm going to be, there are times I'm going to embarrass myself. It's just human nature. What am I going to think? What am I going to say? How am I going to behave myself? Am I going to cry and run out of the room? Or, that's just probably a weak way of being, just screaming and crying and running out of the room. You just got to sit there and laugh at yourself. It's no big deal. Everybody makes mistakes. Everybody in the world, but you don't have to be depressed. You don't have to be anxious. Just sit there and realize what you can control and what you cannot control. Focus on the things you can control, but also keep in mind the things you can't control. So that way when the situation comes up, you understand that you can't control it right off the bat, and you've already got your substitute kind of behaviors to work with in those situations. So I'm very, very happy to be here. Thank you for joining me today. In today's message on this 51st day of 2026, I'm going back to February the 14th. I'd gone to visit Freckles. So today is actually, what I'm reading is February the 14th, but we're on February 20th. I'm kind of switching. Again, my computer's messed up, and sometimes I'm not able to record like I want to. It wants to be a pain in the butt. So I'm just grabbing the days. This is a very short one, and I thought this would be very important to the things we're learning as far as controlling our minds and things like that. For to be wise is only one thing, to fix our attention on our intelligence, which guides all things everywhere. And Heraclitus, I've never heard this name before. I've never been able to say this name before, but he wrote this in Lives of the Eminent Philosophers. Lives of the Eminent Philosophers, yes. Why did I do that? You probably ask yourself every day. Well, we all have. How could I have been so stupid? What was I thinking? Do it every day, every single day. You aren't. That's the problem. Within that head of yours is all the reason and intelligence you need. Is making sure that it's deferred to and utilized. That's the tough part. Dun, dun, dun. I always do that when it's like it hits the nail on the head, kind of. It's making sure that your mind is in charge and not your emotions. Not your immediate physical sensations, not your surging hormones. Fix your attention on your intelligence. Let it do its thing. That was probably my problem. I am all heart. I empathize with everybody. I have enough compassion for about a room full of football players. I do. I have enough compassion. So I was letting all of my emotions, all of my feelings, all of my empathy, all of my compassion just wire me and rule me. And I had no logic to me whatsoever. And it caused me to be in crazy situations. You get used. You get used, you get taken advantage of, you get, people don't respect you because you're not standing up for what you believe is right. So you have to think about that kind of thing, but before you're overly empath, or you're overly compassionate, or you're overly willing to let your emotions rule you. My dog is up, and I hope he's not trying to get out. It's a she, actually. But yeah, think before you act. Before you make that horrible decision to allow someone in your life that you probably don't need, is a liar, before you listen to their whiny, conniving, sad sob stories, listen to your brain. Think of that. Think about what you're doing. Stop. Put yourself on pause and think about what's going to happen in the future. There is a way that you can do that. You kind of put your brain on pause and take the situation, and I call it conjugating, because we learned about conjugating in middle school. Conjugating a verb, but you can conjugate a situation in 14, 15 different ways and figure out the best income. Is this person really reliable? Should I believe this person, or should I, trust this situation? Have I been here before? What was that like? What did I decide to do, and what was the outcome of that? Use your head, use your noodle. That's what it's there for. Don't always use your heart, because your heart is finicky. 1 minute it's wanting something, next minute it's wanting something else. So we can't let our hearts lead us. I know that Princess Diana always said that she was led by her heart, and the fallacy of that is that our hearts are finicky. And I miss her. Oh, I miss seeing her on the news all the time. But that kind of struck me wrong. I was like, she leads with her heart, and her heart has led her into situations that were not probably great for the royal family, probably not great for her. She did earn a reputation of sorts, which I didn't know about the reputation until later. But I adored her so much. I cannot lead with my heart. The Bible even says that whoever, a fool is led by the heart. So, if we are to walk in God's way, we should listen to the Bible and realize that our heart is not the thing to lead us. That we need to use logic, and we need to use our confidence, and we need to use our faith in God. What would God allow for us and give us and choose for us to do? So that way we're based on logic. Our decisions are based on a great foundation and great logic, and we can pretty much make the best decision that way. So yeah, think before you act, for to be wise is the only thing. How could I have been so stupid? I ask myself that all the time. I'll step on something and I'm like, how could I have been so stupid? Yes, hormones lead us a lot. They're like, I don't know, hormones are crazy, are they not? It's beautiful how the body is made, but it's our hormones that get us in most trouble. It's that lusty desire to start a new relationship, especially if it's a love-like relationship, or the newness of a new friend, or new people. New people intrigue us, but be careful who you get attached to, because they could also be stalkers, and they could be they could not be so nice people. Especially out there in the world today, they could just not be nice people. They could use you. People use you all the time. They don't realize they do it, and you don't realize they do it until it's too late. But yeah, they do. A lot of people use you. You're not there as a substance. You're there for their benefit. You need to analyze those situations. And that's about all I have to say for this Friday. I hope y'all have the best weekend. I hope the weather finds you lovely, lovely. I hope it finds you as you desire. I hope you are able to write those two lists, the what I cannot control and what I can control. Do not throw away either of those lists. Make sure you refer to them often, because your behavior is going to be contingent on them. Your opinions, your thoughts, your the way you behave toward other people, your madness, your rudeness, your anxiety, anything of that nature is contingent on that list, those two lists right there. Do your daily and nightly journal. Hopefully your morning list is the things you want to accomplish during the day, and when you reflect during the day at night, think about the things that have upset you, why they upset you. Is it the person that said it that upset you? That kind of thing. So that way you have a growing record of what it is that triggers you. You are responsible for your triggers. Nobody else in this world is responsible for your triggers. Nobody else is responsible for controlling your brains, your thoughts, your sadness, your opinions. Nobody else in this world. Nobody but you. And you need to hear this because it is very important that you know. I controlled my sadness no matter how dark, how deep, how sad, how depressed I was, how much I laid in bed, all of that. The things I forgot my children, and it's my fault. It is absolutely my fault because I decided to stay that way. I decided that was a comfort zone for me. I stayed there. That is my problem. I'm not pulling that on anybody else. There was nobody else in this world is responsible for how I felt during those 15 to 20 years. Nobody. Not one person. I had to recondition this brain all by myself because this was my fault. And I need you to think that way. I need you to know that this is all you. You are responsible for you. You are responsible for your triggers. You are responsible for your thoughts. You are responsible for anything that you behave. Anything. Okay? So, I do it the Stoic way, which gives everybody dignity. It gives people peace, and they don't overreact, especially if somebody called me a name. Now, you call me a B word. 20 years ago, 30 years ago. Oh yeah, I was coming out that door and I would be like, come say it in my face, all hillbilly and tough girl. Like, I was raised, kind of like a tomboy, believe it or not. Well, you kind of see it. So I was like, yeah, come sit in my face. Now, if you call me a V word, I'm just like, okay, if that's what you see, if that's the way you see it, if you see toughness as being a B word, then yeah, okay. Ha ha ha. Joke's on you. I like it. I respond to everybody with a ha. I'm awesome. I like it. Just like my granddaughter. She's so awesome. She is awesome. And she likes it. But she does. I'm awesome. I like it. Especially when she's little. She don't do it as much anymore. But she was funny. She was so funny. Y'all have the wonderful, wonderful day. Appreciate people. Don't forget to appreciate people. Be kind, be kind, be kind, be kind. I cannot stress that enough. Laughter is the best medicine. And remember to kind of be froggy. Anything that bugs you, you eat. You go ahead and you just eat them. Except for people. That's cannibalism. And it's kind of against the law. I just don't see where that would end up. Just metaphorically, eat what bugs you. Just eat it. Anyway. Y'all be good. Be good. Have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Don't know if I'll be back, but I would love to be. And thanks for being here. Oh my gosh, I appreciate you so much. I appreciate all the comments, all the stuff. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, leave me comments. Let me know what interests you, and that way I can try to, if I find it in this book, I can, in a daily course, I can direct it to you. And kind of pound it into you. This is your problem. Your depression is it's not your, I don't want to say it kind of is your fault, especially if you're going to sit there and wallow in it for 15 to 20 years. Do you know how much of a slap in the face that is to me? It's your fault. Anyway, have a good one. Bye-bye.